Imagine coming across this animal on the vast plains of Wyoming. At first, you might think they're slow-moving, calm creatures. But when a few of them start running, that seemingly tranquil scene transforms into a dynamic frenzy in a matter of seconds. Before you stands the American bison, with its massive frame. The most remarkable thing about this creature is that while all other animals flee, it gathers its herd and charges straight into the storm. And there's a very interesting reason for this behavior. To understand this behavior, we first need to look at the traits that make this massive creature one of North America's most resilient animals. In fact, this creature's greatest advantage against nature is its massive size itself. Standing over 6 feet tall, it's nearly as tall as the average adult. Its weight can reach an average of 1,600 pounds, almost as heavy as a car. The American bison's massive size isn't just an impressive sight. The strength it possesses tells a story far beyond what meets the eye. If it senses a threat, it can move with incredible speed. This massive creature, weighing 2,000 pounds, can reach speeds of 40 miles per hour. It's even agile enough to easily outpace many horses over short distances. What's even more fascinating is that despite its massive size, it can leap up to 6 feet high. For this reason, the American bison is not just a large land animal. It is one of the few creatures that embodies strength, speed, and endurance all at once. So how does this massive creature possess such immense strength? The secret lies in the bison's anatomy. Take a close look at that distinctive hump on its back. Most people assume it's a fat pad for storing energy, like those found on camels. But the reality is quite different. There isn't a single gram of fat here. Instead, it consists primarily of massive muscle structure. This hump is entirely made up of dense muscle tissue that directly supports the bison's neck and heavy skull. It essentially carries a natural winch system specifically reinforced to move its head. This allows it to move its head despite the immense weight. This structure is particularly useful in the winter months on the Wyoming plains, which are covered in thick layers of snow. Bison use these massive head and neck muscles to push the snow aside like a bulldozer. This allows them to reach the grass buried beneath the snow and ensure the survival of the herd. Another fascinating trait of these massive animals emerges during the mating season. When male bison face off to establish dominance, they charge at each other and clash heads. This is another purpose of the dense muscle structure on their shoulders. It helps mitigate the impact of these collisions on the neck and skull. Wyoming's winters are extremely harsh and unforgiving. Especially on open plains, temperatures drop below 4 degrees Fahrenheit in the winter, and winds reaching 40 to 60 miles per hour can create massive blizzards. In some areas, snow remains on the ground for months, and visibility can be nearly completely lost. But while nearly all animals flee the storm in search of shelter, why does the American bison walk straight into the storm? Actually, this isn't due to stubbornness or bravery. It's one of the most powerful survival strategies nature has endowed them with. When herds try to flee the storm, they end up staying inside the storm for much longer because they're moving in the same direction as the storm. This makes it much harder for them to survive. This might sound strange, but in nature, sometimes the way to survive isn't to flee, but to move in the right direction. Other animals employ similar strategies, and in nature, nothing is actually as random as it seems. For example, Emperor penguins also move in herds to turn the wind and cold into an advantage, helping them survive Antarctica's harsh cold. Another reason is that, due to their massive size, American bison cannot find natural shelters where they can easily hide, like most other animals. In the open plains of Wyoming, tree density is quite low, and it is nearly impossible for these animals, weighing tons, to take refuge in narrow spaces. What do you think about how, while many animals flee storms, bison walk right into them? Share your thoughts and ideas about this strategy in the comments right now, because I really love looking at this natural phenomenon from different angles. Now let's look at another feature that makes this massive creature one of North America's most resilient animals: its powerful insulation system. When a severe blizzard hits Wyoming, bison can become completely covered in snow. But what's interesting is that the snow accumulating on their backs doesn't melt for a long time. That's because the American bison's two-layered coat provides extremely effective insulation. This animal's thick fur works very differently from ordinary animal fur. The long, stiff hairs on the outer layer make it difficult for snow to reach the skin. The dense, wool-like layer on the inside traps body heat. This structure acts as a natural insulating layer that keeps body heat inside. Thanks to this unique structure, bison can survive for long periods in the open plains of Wyoming's freezing winters by minimizing energy loss. The American bison employs an impressive defense strategy by moving together when threatened. This is because there are almost no dense forests or safe shelters to hide in on Wyoming's open plains. Therefore, the safest option for the herd is to stand together and form a defensive line. Especially when wolf packs try to target defenseless calves, the bison suddenly change formation. The calves are placed in the center, while the adults line up shoulder to shoulder in the outer circle. As a result, wolves are often forced to wait for a moment of weakness in the herd, rather than attacking directly. With all these traits, the American bison is a massive force that has evolved to survive in Wyoming's harsh wilderness. Thanks to its dense musculature, fur that provides double-layered insulation, and strong skeleton, it demonstrates extraordinary resilience against freezing winters and severe storms. So, when all these traits come together, could the American bison be much more than what meets the eye? Our next stop is Arkansas. This creature, which appears quiet and motionless on the surface, is actually a hunter from prehistoric times lying in wait. Don't forget to subscribe, and like before, we meet again in the next video.